We are live, guys. Welcome to the Bags to Riches podcast, 1,000 subscribers special. You know I had to bring on one of the top guests we've ever had on this podcast today, Carlos Reyes. He is here, guys. Let's start out. We're live. Let's get this intro down. I am pumped for today. This is the most pumped I've ever been for a live video here. So let's get started, guys. Welcome to the Bags to Riches podcast. I'm Zach Ginn, your host. I quitted my minimum wage bag boy job to pursue the riches of real estate investing at the age of 17 and never looked back. I'm here to educate and inform entrepreneurs, young and old, how to become complete real estate investors by talking to the best and most brightest minds of real estate. Carlos Reyes, how are you today?
Brother, I am freaking amazing. And you know what? Bags to Riches, we have something in common. I was a bag boy at a very early age myself.
Okay, so let's get this started up the front. I was a bag boy in one of the best real estate markets. I had a very easy life, I would say, starting up. You have probably one of the most intense ones. You know, Sal Shakir is coming on the podcast in about 2 months. He has a pretty insane one too. But
Yes,
let's
sir.
get it started here. Everyone knows my story. I was a bag boy, 17. I had epiphany, scrubbing toilets one day. My boss made me scrub poop off the floor, and I was like, I'm done, real estate investor. I need to know, what is your Bags to Riches story? How does a bag boy from Mexico come to America and just destroy it?
I got to take a deep breath for that one, because you know what? I've done my absolute best to have selective memory when it comes down to getting rid of those memories, right? For the longest time, all I wanted to do was get rid of the hardship, right? The memories that growing up, you know, the poverty levels that I experienced at a very early age in Mexico, you know, and I'll get deep into it. And this is something that I didn't know this, right? I did my best to erase that part of my life. And then slowly but surely, I started talking about it. You know, I never used to talk about it because it was very painful. You know, it was very painful mentally and emotionally. And then I started to talk about it enough, and people were like, hey, that's very inspirational. I became them because they see me now, right? And they see all the success, and they see, you know, the Rolls Royce and all that, and the, you know, the watches and now they're like, wow, okay, this guy is untouchable. I can't be that guy, right? This guy, he was probably born with money or something, right? Well, when I started telling my story, literally, like, they were like, holy crap, this guy came from even worse than what I come from literally the gutter, right? The dirt, right? I was definitely a diamond in the rough, as you can say. So my story is very simple. I was born in Sonora, Mexico. It's a northern part of Mexico. I was born into extreme poverty, because in Mexico, there's no middle class. You're either very poor or very rich. And we were very poor. We were very poor. And when I was born, it was my mother, and then at the time my father. But my father, he got really heavy into drugs. He started using coke and became an alcoholic. And man, this guy was just bad news, right? He was kidnapping senators and things like that, and in Sonora. And my mom was like, whoa, like I can't. My mom comes from a Christian background, you know, an upbringing. And my mom was like, I really got to leave this man, because this guy would show up, you know, and look for like another person, like, where is he? Is he under the bed? And you know, and then he would just like beat the crap out of my mom, and you know, God knows what else would happen. I was 2 to 3 years old at that time when this all really started happening. So my mother was like, I got to get the heck away from this guy. And what she did was she hid me and my brother. She hid me and my brother at my aunt's house and my grandma's house. We moved south to another city away from him. And once we were there with my grandma and my aunt, going back and forth, you know, hiding from this guy, my father, who was a real POS. That's why I take a lot of pride as being a great dad. Like, God has made me a great businessman for the kingdom, but most importantly, I am the most proud of being what I did not what I did not experience, which is a great father. You know, that's why. And you know what's crazy? It's very easy to be a great father if you just love your children. If it's very easy to be a great father if you're just not a selfish, POS, right? So she's hiding us, grandma, with grandma and aunt, and she makes her way up to California, right? And she gets into California and starts working the fields.
Mhm.
And then a few years later, she saves up enough money. But when she's up there working the fields, right?
Mhm.
I'm down here as a 3, 4, 5, 6 year old, and I'm down here, man. I'm down here selling bread door to door. I'm down here, going to the sea because we had 4 to 5 beaches. So where I grew up, it's called Guaymas, Sonora, which is near San Carlos, and there's beaches everywhere. There's sandy, nice beaches around, and we would go and kind of hunt our own seafood, and we would sell everything, bread, whatever we had to survive, right? And my mother's up here grinding, and she's like, my goal is to bring my 2 sons to the United States, to the land of milk and honey at the time, right? And still is. We live in the greatest country in the world, greatest country in
Amen.
the world. I promise you that. For those folks out there that don't think so, go live my life in another country and see what happens, right? So anyway, she, I started my entrepreneurship journey at the age of 5. I'm doing door to door bread sales, and my mom finally saves up enough money, tries to bring me and my brother over through a gutter, through a sewer system. And she's holding my brother in her left arm, and she's holding my hand with my right, and we're just kind of going and trying to sneak in through the sewer, through the gutter in Tijuana, Mexico, which is a border town, and we get caught. We get caught, we get kicked out, and then we're back, for a few months. We try again, and we actually break through, and we go to California. We go to a small city called Escondido, California. It's part of the San Diego County. It's a Hispanic populated area,
Mhm.
and we spend about 3 to 4 years there before we fail. Right? Keep in mind we're illegal at this time,
Mhm.
so we fail, and then back we go. Back to Mexico we go, because California was very expensive for a single mother, and a single mother that worked in the fields, and she didn't really plan all this out, right? Didn't speak English, and so back we go to Mexico. The second time, she's working at the resorts. I'm bagging groceries now, right? And now I know a little bit of English, so I'm making a little more money. Because sometimes when American people would come to the store, I was the only one that's able to talk to them, because I learned a little bit of English down in California. And I'm bagging groceries. I have my apron, I have my little grocery boy hat, I got my little ID. I take them outside to take the groceries in a little cart, put everything away, nicely. Bread in one place, and the eggs in another place, and all the heavy stuff on another side of the trunk. And then boom, boom, right? All right, so it's time to pay up, right? We worked on tips. So that's I did that. So between me saving money, working as a bag boy, and my mother saving money, cleaning resort rooms in hotels, we save up enough money for her to catch the bus to Phoenix, Arizona. She comes up here. She comes up here. She's working 2 jobs. She's working in the fields again. And now this isn't California. This is 120-degree weather. She has a big old hat, and she has one of those bandanas under that's wet, and she's picking fruit again, picking fruit. She has 2 jobs, saves up enough money, brings me over. And the way that she brought me over the second time, she paid a coyote in Nogales, Sonora, to get me through a fence. She said, "Hey, son, I need you to follow this man." It was nighttime. I didn't know. I trusted my mom 100%. So I'm trusting this man to get me over to meet her at the McDonald's, across the line illegally. She's
Mhm.
waiting for me there. So I'm following this guy. We're ducking. Lights are going. I remember this because at this point I was a little older, 10, 11. And we get through this hole. Takes me to my mom. My mom pays him $25, $25 to get me through this hole. And then we make our trek up to Phoenix, Arizona. She starts my paperwork in 1997. And then, it took, man, my paperwork, my process, I did it the right way. We spent money we didn't have. We had, we put time in that we didn't have. And it took me from 97 all the way to 2012 to become a US citizen. Okay. It took me that long. Now, don't get me wrong. In between that time, I had a work permit first, and then I had a resident green card, as people call it, an alien card. And then I became a citizen in 2012 of the greatest country on earth. And, this is the land of opportunity. This is the land of milk and honey. This is one of the few countries that I know that you can become whatever you really want to become, whatever God-given potential and talent that you have, you can maximize on that God-given talent in this country. And that's why I love this country very, very much. And this is the only country I will ever love. This is my motherland now. And I have two children, two beautiful children. I have a 7-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. And, they're first generation, full American now, thanks to the efforts of my mom, right? Thanks to the effort of my mother, and thanks to the hard work and of all of us combined, and the grace of God, because he kept us out of so much danger, and he made everything possible for us. And here we are, brother, here we are. We can definitely get into the business side, but I just wanted to tell people that no, I was not born with a silver spoon. I was not born with, with everything that you see now and everything that I have now. These are things that they're kind of byproducts of working your ass off and not giving up, right? These are just byproducts of all that. They see the Rolls Royces, they see the nice estates, they see everything, the watches and the clothes and the family, most importantly, brother, my family having financial freedom, my family having financial security, that is what means the most to me every single day, not anything else. Everything can be taken away. The peace of mind that my family and I have is what means the most. So that's kind of a small fraction of my story, right?
Yeah. So just first off the bat, I had no idea probably till I would say 4 months ago that you were born in Mexico. I thought you were like, I heard you speak. I'm like, this dude's American, whatever. I didn't know you were born in Mexico. That is insane. That was one thing I did not know about your story, which just blew my mind. And second, I think a lot of people, when they first see you, I could be wrong here, but they just see a guy in a Rolls Royce saying you need to work hard and be like, because there's so many guys like that. And you look at you and like, oh, just judge him. Just no. People really need to understand the backstory of you before they can even make a single inkling of judgment. And I think it's very important.
Rick, let me say this.
I'm Zach.
It's Rick and
it says
Zach.
Rick on there.
I know it says Rick. Zach, I do apologize.
My bad.
Zach. Let me say this. It's very unfortunate that people judge that way, because I am them. I am wherever they are, whatever they're going through, whatever they've been through, I am them. I've been through it all. I am not this guy I'm not like, you got your typical educators and gurus, and no, brother, we have real businesses. We are real serial entrepreneurs. We are hustlers. We work our butts off, 24/7. Our schedule is eyes open to eyes closed. We really work like immigrants. Sal was born in Iraq. I was born in Mexico. Adversity, I believe, has been our X factor. And that's why we've been able to do in this industry, in the 5 years we've been in this industry, we've been able to do, and not arrogantly saying this, what takes people 10, 15, 20 years. Brother, I'm looking outside into we own this building, this multi-million-dollar office, 10,000 square feet. We own it, right? We own it. Praise the Lord. I'm looking outside and I'm looking at my CFO and I'm looking at my asset manager here who handles all our flips. And I'm looking at my sales director and I'm looking at my business. Brother, we built an army. So yeah, you're right. We're going to, through the compound effect, we are going to crush a lot of the opposition, because a lot of folks in real estate investing are so used to what? Being solopreneurs, right? Hey guys, I'm a fix and flipper. I do 5, 10, 15, 20 houses a year, right? It's me by myself. That's okay. If that's what makes you happy, good. That's not what makes us happy. What makes us happy is literally being the best at anything and everything that we do, no matter what it is that we're doing. Real estate has been the vehicle that made us rich, not wealthy. It's been the vehicle that made us rich. Because of real estate, we took brother, for the first 3 years, Sal and I didn't pay. And you're gonna see the similarities. You're gonna know if we're full of shit or not, right? When you interview him, he's gonna tell you, hey man, Carlos and I didn't pay ourselves for like the first 3 years. And then we started paying ourselves $5,000. Brother, let me say this. Our first 6-figure month came July of 2016. We did not pay ourselves one dime. You know what? You want to know what we did? We dumped it all back into the business. All back into the business. And I'm gonna actually teach people how to do this and why they should. But we didn't pay ourselves for the first 3 years. And then we started paying ourselves $5,000 from real estate, right? But you know what else was beautiful? We took all those profits, all those earnings, and started building other businesses, started building other assets. So now real estate became like one of the lowest paying assets because we were purposely not paying ourselves to grow this empire, right? We started coming up with, a solar company, import export company, a digital marketing agency. Like we just started investing into all these different, medicalsurplus.com, National Diabetic Surplus. We have all these different businesses now, thank God, right? Our CFO hates us. She can't keep up with everything, right? All I get is I get a report that she brings me where's my binder, guys? It's somewhere. Oh, well, if you can find my binder she just gives me all the P&Ls and says, hey, these are all the businesses. And she's here right now. She's one of the best CFOs in the game, but that's what we did. We didn't run to the cars. We didn't run to the watches. We didn't run to buy houses. We didn't run to be, bad stewards of God's blessings. And I feel like that's why I'm literally in the middle of a podcast. Can we please shut the door if you guys don't mind? Thank you so much. That was my CFO. Sorry. That was my CFO.
Whoa.
And everybody
what we got here?
This is called the CEO overview, right? And it's company financials. And I'll give you an example here. Let's go to our real estate company.
Most real estate investors they're scared of this. They're starting to sweat.
Yeah, let's
go. They got to show their true info.
Yeah, I know. We don't have nothing to hide, brother. So watch this. You're gonna love this. All right, so can you take a guess of what we spent in real estate marketing cost, real estate marketing expenses for the year of 2019? Can you take a guess?
All in or investment?
No, just
all in
no. This is phase one investments, aka offerkey.com, aka nationalcashoffer.com, right? Can you take a wild guess of how much money we spend on just real estate marketing expenses? That's not counting overhead. That's not counting salaries and commissions. This is just real estate marketing expenses.
40
take a wild guess. 40 to 50 what?
Thousand.
In a year?
Yeah, you said monthly, right?
No. In the year 2019.
200.
How much do you think we spent? 250? See, my producers are in here. My producers are in here like just kind of laughing, right? But no, brother. We spent $1,077,860.90 in just marketing.
Oh my God.
In just marketing. And then you wonder why we're some of the top guys in the industry, right? Because we're willing to take risk. We're willing to put our money where our mouth is. You see, we trust our team with our marketing. You see what I'm saying? That's what separates us. That's what separates us from a lot of these guys. These guys are afraid to spend $5,000 in a month. We're over here spending like 89, 90 grand a month in real estate marketing.
Wow. You guys got to think about this. This is the number one advice I heard this week. This week. Risk is chance. If you look at it any other way, you're in trouble.
You have to risk it to get the biscuit, my friend. And I'll tell you what, that's just real estate marketing expenses for our acquisition company, our real estate investment company, right? That doesn't even include all the other businesses, as far as real estate marketing expenses go. Those are whole different, different companies, totally separate. And that's why you see different companies. You see like All In Entrepreneurs, Production, Cash Buyers Plus, NTA Services, DNC Pros. You see MagnusDigital.com. So you see all these different businesses in here. They all have different P&Ls. Right? So what I want to sit here and tell people, hey, listen, when Sal and I first got into the real estate game, our marketing budget was $500 to $700 a month. Have you seen me post like handwritten bandit signs?
Yes, you got the hat there.
True story. Handwritten bandit
gosh.
signs for the first 6 months. And then we landed $2,400 later. 2,400 bandit signs later, handwritten bandit signs. We landed our first real estate wholesale deal. We made $5,000 on that deal. You want to know what we did with that $5,000?
I can only guess.
Marketing campaign, direct mail marketing campaign. We put $1,250 into a marketing campaign, and we were so scared of marketing, just like a lot of people out there. We were so scared of marketing. We didn't see at that time in our careers, we didn't look at marketing as an investment. We looked at it as an expense. We're like, oh God, here goes $1,200, right? So I want to tell people this. We spent $1,250 on our first direct mail campaign. We were so scared that we split that marketing campaign with another company called Highest Cash Offer. And we did $1,250, they did $1,250. So it was a $2,500 direct mail campaign. Because of that direct mail campaign, we produced $60,000 in gross profits. Okay.
Wow.
And so 30K went their way, 30K went our way. And you can ask Jared Vidales if you think I'm lying. Jared is the CEO of the Highest Cash Offer. 30K went that way, 30K went this way. And guess what? We were still too scared to spend money on marketing. And we said, hey guys, that was amazing. We should do it again. Right? So then we did it again, $1,250, $30,000 gross profit. So now we have, they did 20, the combined $1,250. So we spent the total $2,500. They spent the total $2,500. We did $60,000 our first campaign together. So 30. And then we did 30K, our second campaign, 15. So we spent $2,500, got 45 grand just to our side, 45K to their side. And that's when we all sat down and said, guys, I think it's time to really go our separate ways when it comes to the marketing expenses. And then we took all that money and started investing into pay-per-click digital marketing. Our first month that we did that, remember I told you, July 2016, we did some mail, right? And we did $7,500 in pay-per-click. That was our first six-figure month. We produced over $125,000 in gross profit, July of 2016. And we still didn't pay ourselves. We did not pay ourselves for 3 years. 3 years. Then Sal and I started paying ourselves 5K, 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 5K. Then we're like, hey man, we're doing pretty good. We're sometimes we hit $500,000 in gross profits. Why don't we pay ourselves 10,000 now, right? And then we started paying ourselves 10K, and now we pay ourselves 20K just from the real estate investment firm. And then we obviously all our other streams of income pay us, 5K here, 12K there, 30K here, right? Because we're everywhere. We got our eggs in different baskets. So it's been a complete blessing. And that's kind of where we are. And I hope you got some great questions, brother, because when you're talking to someone who his team, I can't say myself, but my team is still in the trenches every single day, you will get every question answered because we are, when it comes to, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, we own a commercial building, but we're not commercial experts. We are single family, residential, mad scientists. That's what we are. We are we get our properties 40 to 60 cents on the dollar. We are backed by private capital. Okay. We are backed by private capital to the point it's 100% funding and there's no points, and we don't pay back until our flip sells, our listing sells. We don't even make a payment. They fund the funding, and they fund the rehab. So other people's money, baby. When you get good at something, people want to invest in you and they want to go into business with you. So praise the Lord, because it wasn't always like that. At some point, me and Sal used to have to put up our money, and now we get to use other people's money. But guess what? We got amazing relationships. We've been doing private capital with these guys for 2 years, and they love us. They absolutely love us, and we love them. And it's been a bilateral, beautiful, fruitful relationship. So, man, we couldn't be any happier. And here we are. Here we are.
Wow. Okay. So first of all, I just want to say things happen for a reason. It's kind of insane. When I created this YouTube channel, we had maybe 1 to 2 views, everything we had no one. And I had such a similar story to you, I believe. And I was like, if I get 1,000 subscribers, I thought I was going to get 100 after a year. I said this, I'm like, I got to get Carlos Reyes on here, my 1,000 subscribers special. I message you, you answer me like a week ago, perfectly timed for this. It's insane. But yeah, I started out high school, first deal was a bandit sign. It was insane. My last money, all that. But no, this is service for my subscribers. They've blessed me a lot here, and I just want to help them out and help them out too. So just you go to a million podcasts. I mean, you've answered the basic questions. I can ask you a million things here, but the number one question I really have for you is, you have, in my opinion, everything. You have the car, you have the family, you got the beautiful wife, you got everything. I mean, why do you do it? Like, why do you keep working? Like, what's your why?
Your why changes.
Mm-hmm.
Your why changes. If you read, the book that I'm reading now, it's called Principles by Ray Dalio. It's in my car right now. Oh my God, a life-changing book, by the way. A lot of people, Tony Robbins and Bill Gates, everybody, Jay-Z has read it, Will Smith, everybody's read Principles by Ray Dalio, right? He's one of the greatest economists in history, not even our time, in history, right? So your why does change. At first, my why was survival, right? I didn't know any better. At first, my why was survival. Like, I just wanted to make money. Listen, I don't know who needs to hear this out there, but I was working a 9 to 5 for 12 years, 12 plus years. I probably was 14, to be honest. I lost track. I was working a 9 to 5 for so long. I was literally a vegetable. Now, I was a very productive. I've always been this person since I was a kid, right? I move with the purpose, right? I'm moving every single day. I've always had this energy. If you ask my office, like, I come in here and it's crazy, right? So I was working a 9 to 5, and I can tell you this much. I'm very thankful that I worked a 9 to 5, right? Why? Because I was able to at least get out of poverty. I worked my ass off in corporate America just enough to get out of poverty, to buy my first home, to buy my second home, to buy my first car. You see, right? To be able to live the middle income, middle class, blue collar, hardworking American life, which is a beautiful life, by the way. They say that some of the happiest people, their income bracket is between 90 and 120,000. Actually, no, 70 and 120,000. Those are some of the happiest people on earth, right? And I was making $70,000 after working at this job for 14 plus years. But you know what? I had hit a ceiling. I was already like one of the big guys, and I wasn't making my next position that I was going to get would have paid me 110 grand a year, right? And I was making 70K. And even with that 70,000, brother, I'm going to be honest with you. I was in credit card debt, right? I would save up a few $100 every check. I got paid bi-weekly. It was tough, man. You know how like right now I can just get up and go anywhere, right? Like right now I can get up and go anywhere. I don't own a jet, by the way. If you see pictures of me in a jet, that's more than likely we paid like $9 grand to fly in that jet. I actually think a jet is a very bad investment. I think that you should probably never buy a jet. Okay. Now, the only time you should ever buy a jet is because you need it to save time, like the big guys like Grant Cardone and Tony Robbins. Time is money, right? Time is money to me right now, right? That's why I pay for a lot of people that save me. The most valued commodity for me is time. So I don't own a jet. I don't own a yacht, and I don't plan on to. I don't want to. So let me just say this. At my 9 to 5, I was surviving. I had to save up months and months and months. And brother, I'll tell you this much: I never took a vacation in 14 years. You know what I would do? You know what I would do with my vacations? After the first year, I got 1 week. After the third year, I got 2 weeks. After the fifth year, I got 3 weeks. Okay. After like the 7th or 10th year, I got like 4 weeks. You know what I would do with those vacations?
What?
I would cash them in. I would cash them in to get ahead. I would cash them in to go on a weekend getaway with my family. You see what I'm saying? Now I could, brother, I can go spend a month, 2 months, 3 months in an island. Our businesses are, they're delegated. They're systemized. It's a machine, right? Our organization, we don't have a company. Like we're sitting here and you're interviewing me over a real estate company. We have an organization. We have several companies. This is why we're in 10,000 square feet, and we have the solar company there and our business development there for our education, and we have our acquisition company. You see, we have an organization. All right. And if you read principles, what are the most powerful components to build an organization? People and culture. And that's what we have here. So back to my 9 to 5, because I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there that are still either stuck doing a 9 to 5 and flipping on the side or whatever, right? They're watching this and they're hoping to learn something. They're stuck at a 9 to 5 job. What is my why? At first, it was survival, leaving that job, survival. And then after survival, it was like status. I went through this disgusting stage, this episode of like, hey, look at me. I'm killing it. You need to know who I am. Right. I went through that for like a year and a half, 2 years. Right. And then came like servanthood, servitude, philanthropy. Right. And that's where I am right now. I'm at that stage where I just want to serve others. So my why changed and changed and changed. And now what's my why right now? You're like, hey brother, so what's your why now? You have everything you need. Right. Well, my why now is to like change the world, to be a world changer, to impact lives, to be omnipresent, to reach as many people as I can, and somehow, some way contribute in a positive way to their lives. Now, that doesn't necessarily have to be on a financial level. It could be, I'm like, hey guys, I'm trying to be the best father I could be. You should too. Hey, I'm trying to be the best person I can be, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. You should too. Right. I'm a servant of God. I serve God. I'm his vessel. And, it's a beautiful thing. He's blessed me. He's allowed my cup to runneth over. You should too. Right. So that's my why now is I want to be omnipresent. I want to reach as many lives as possible. And I want to impact and change as many lives as possible. Now, that is my why now. And that why, compared to my why when we started, astronomically different. At first, I was just trying to make a little money and survive. Now my why has changed to I want to be a world changer. I want to be a Tony Robbins who changes the world in some way. I want to be the big boys up there, and not because out of arrogance or vanity. No, because I want to reach as many. I don't want to just reach people in America. I want to reach people in Mexico. I want to reach people in South America. I want to reach people overseas, right? Wherever there's poverty, India, South Korea, North, wherever. Well, probably not North Korea because I don't know if we're allowed there, but I want to reach people everywhere and tell them, hey, if I can do it, and I came out of, I had every disadvantage. I was not a victim of the circumstance. If I came out of the dirt, out of the gutter, and God has blessed me and put me in this position to be able to talk to you and tell you that this is possible, then that's what I want to do. Anything is possible. And that's what I want to do with my life. And God willing, brother, you'll keep track of my journey. And if God wills it, I will get there. If God wills it. Because when you surrender to the Lord, when you are truly a vessel of service to him, if God tells you to change your trajectory, if he says, hey, Carlos, I know we had these plans of you changing the world, but I want you to be a pastor at Vineyard Church, North Phoenix, which is my church now, right? And I got to listen. Hey, Carlos, I know that you want to be a world changer, impact many lives, but I want you to go to Birmingham, Alabama and run a church of 20 people. Then that's what it is. Because you know what? I can tell you from experience, Zach, not Rick, right? Sorry. I can tell you from experience, if I continue to seek his kingdom first, everything else will be given to me the way it has. Brother, my growth is not just this way. My growth is this way. It is in every single aspect of life. I want to be elite in every single aspect of life. I want to be elite emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. I want to be a superhuman. Right. So that's what I want to be. And God willing, that's where he takes me. And if he doesn't take me there, then as long as he's in command, he's in charge. I'll be happy with that too. So that's my why.
Wow. That was a great answer. So, a lot of, you have a lot of nice things here, but, when did you really dissolve the ego that you said you had earlier and just really came into an abundance mindset? Like, when was there a switch that just hit you?
Yes. Growing up, I had a chip obviously on my shoulder, right? Coming to where I come from, I had a chip on my shoulder.
A boulder.
I had a boulder on my shoulder, right? I was like the Flintstones. So, when I surrendered my soul completely, my life completely to the Lord, it's tough for a man that gets on his knees a minimum of 3 times per day. It's tough for a man that gets on his knees every single day to still have an ego. Think about that. I'm on my knees every day. How can I have an ego? Like, I'm on my knees every day. That's more than a lot of people are willing to do in this world. I'm on my knees every single day. And you know what? You cannot go any higher than humble. You can't. Brother, there are so many beautiful emotions out there, love and gratitude being some of them, but humility. When was the last time that you blessed somebody in some way and just felt a sense of humility over your heart? How beautiful did that feel?
I feel it every week. This is for you, but
okay,
I've had people
but now you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
People underestimate the emotion of humility, and you cannot be humble and have an ego at the same time. It's like having faith and having fear. It's like oil and water. It just doesn't mix. So that's another thing that folks out there need to know. You want to be a massively successful entrepreneur, you are going to have to let go of a lot of the things, a lot of these chains, a lot of this baggage that's going to try to hold you back. Ego is one of them. Pride is another. Selfishness is another. Arrogance is another, right? Greed is another. Envy is another. You have to let go of this baggage or else the Lord will not bless you, because you know what? Success will never, ever outgrow the person you are. Ever. You want to be a massively successful person? Guess what? You better start working in here. You better start working here and in here. That's what you need to start doing, or else forget it. You are going to plateau at a specific income level, and you're going to get really frustrated. And that's the beautiful part, right? If you get rid of all this baggage internally, you start doing a lot of work internally, internal work, you will achieve what you want to achieve in life. And if that's massive success, then that's massive success. The goal in life, brother, is to be happy. And Sal and I say this all the time. Happiness is the ultimate success, because happiness brings you fulfillment. And have you seen that the happiest of people, whether they're rich or poor, they shine bright. They are a light in this world, right? They get sick a lot less, right? They have less negative and toxic relationships. They attract the right people, right? So that's what folks need to understand. You have to start doing a lot of internal work here and here. And if you really want to be massively successful. So
Definitely. I mean, the reason why I'm going over this, like I can go over business with you here, but the thing is, the hardest thing I find with students, you might have this too, is I grew up with a little chip, just working at as a bag boy with no money, just get a little money. I know exactly why I got to keep pushing. But a lot of these students, like you can give them the keys to the kingdom, but if they don't have that chip, that edge just to like push it, they're not going to be successful. Like, how do you give your students that?
like you said, some people want it, some people don't, right?
Mhm.
Some people really want it and some people don't. And what it comes down to, a lot of folks misinterpret the fact that a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of massively successful entrepreneurs have a common denominator. And that common denominator is adversity. That common denominator is hardships. That common denominator is being dirt poor. You got somebody like a Manny Koshman who used to sleep in his car, right? You got somebody like a Bill Gates who used to work out of his garage. And you've seen all the stories, right? A lot of us entrepreneurs are willing to suffer. We're willing, and I'm going to curse, I'm going to say the S word. We're willing to eat shit for a few years. We are immune. We develop a capacity. We develop a tolerance level to not quit, right? We develop that tolerance level to deal with these problems, to deal with these bumps in the road. And then we just keep pushing and keep plowing. So you have to understand that a lot of, brother, 9 out of 10 people, they're not going to want it. They're not. And that's okay, because you can still change their lives. 9 out of 10 people may not want it as much as a person like myself or Sal, but guess what? You can still change their lives. You can still impact their lives. You could still make them far more successful than what they would have made themselves, by themselves, for themselves. So why? Because we have this here and this here, and we're, energy is transferable, right? So if now I'm starting to give you knowledge and I'm starting to tell you that, hey man, you're going to have to implement this and you're going to have to execute this, and I'm going to hold you accountable. We're going to follow up on Friday and see how far we are. Then we're following up on Monday and this better be done. Guess what? Now you're pushing people, and you never know. You never know if that little spark that they already had turns into a wild forest fire. We've seen that happen time and time again.
Wow. So yeah, this actually happened today too. My next, I guess, I don't know, statement, but I would say if you're a real estate investor, a common denominator of success is who, appreciates you. I wanted to give you a big shout out. I saw today Grant Cardone followed you on Instagram. I don't know if that's a big deal or not, but
to me that is
pretty impressive. It's a pretty impressive thing. And
that's a big deal. That's a big deal because, like I told you, brother, no disrespect to a lot of the guys up top, right? Because they all have their beautiful stories. They've all been through a lot of hardships. I mean, if you look at their stories, but why not? Why not me? Right? Well, I've always been a delusional optimist anyway. That's how I got out of the gutter. That's how I got out of the hole I was in. I've always been unrealistic. We're unrealistic. Sal and I will create a company today and it may fail next week. Who gives a shit? We love just trying it. Right, Sal?
Mm-hmm.
We love
Sal.
Yeah, he says hello. Sal and I, brother, we created a company. When this whole thing went down with COVID, we created a company. medicalsurplus.com. Look it up. We created a company. Literally, was it over a weekend, Sal? Just in one weekend, we were like, hey, man, we should really get into this. There's going to be a shortage of this and this and this. And guess what? We're already moving, baby. We've already made money. We got more. We got another payment due, Sal, that's coming in. So why not? We're unrealistic at this point, brother. We're unrealistic. We are creators. we create entrepreneurs. That's the thing. We're like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a one-trick pony. I got to just stick to real estate. And there's nothing wrong, by the way. You should. Real estate is by far the best business, by far the best business that we have. If it wasn't for real estate, we wouldn't have anything else. So I'm not telling people, I'm not discouraging them in any way, but what I want them to do is be smart with their earnings, because we become so spoiled with real estate. We become so spoiled. Brother, we just had a check. We just had a check yesterday. I don't even see the checks anymore, and neither does Sal. Well, my asset manager posted a check, and he's like, hey, $87,000 or whatever, right? On a flip. And I'm like, oh, well, that's great, right? Brother, it takes other businesses like, let's just say juice bars, restaurants, bars, clubs, for them to make 87 grand. We did that in one flip. For them to make that, it might take them 1, 2, 3 months, a quarter of a year to make. That's why we're so spoiled with real estate. But why not take that money and take those earnings and start creating other assets? I don't care if you're dumping them into rentals. I don't care if you're dumping them into multifamily. I don't care if you're flipping commercial property. I don't care if you're building other businesses, to spread your eggs in other baskets, but be smart with your earnings. Go through that eat shit phase, 1, 2, 3 years, and you will be taken care of the rest of your life. Is that worth it? Absolutely.
Wow. So you ate that for 14 years, 9 to 5. So, just sucking it up sometimes is the best here. But, there's another question I really have here is I wanted to talk about some parts of the business here. And I think one thing that you really promote in the acquisition side that mostly nobody does, I say, is rapport. I don't think people get enough emphasis on the importance of that on a real estate appointment. Can you tell me when you figured out that rapport was the number one thing?
I believe so. Sal and I started this company alone, together. Sal and I. So Sal has his wife, and I'm married too. But we are married in business, right? I told him that this morning. Well, I tell him that all the time. We're married in business. I don't know who's the wife. We still have to determine that. But I will say this: when Sal and I started, I was doing a lot of the acquisitions. I was out there. I'm a natural kind of people person. Not that Sal isn't. Obviously, him and I became best friends because he was a great people person and I was a great people person, right? But I had a lot of sales skills, and you'll know Sal's story. He's done sales himself, but he felt that it suited me best to do acquisitions. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that always determined me or us getting that deal over the competition was my ability to build rapport with the seller, my ability to truly connect genuinely. I'm not being some fake or fraud here. If you love people and you are a real people person, you will genuinely develop a connection because you care. You have to care. Okay. So I cannot stress this enough. 80%, I call it the 80-20 rule. 80% of any real estate transaction, especially on the investment side where we're buying directly from seller, guys, all our properties, we've never bought a property from the auction. We don't buy properties from MLS. We're not lazy. I'm not calling anybody lazy out there. Everybody has their own, strategies and processes. Sal and I buy our properties directly from the seller. Okay. So listen when I tell you that 80% of the transaction is rapport building. All right. I call this the 4 phases of acquisitions. Okay. You ready? First, contact, right? You put a little bit of marketing out there. Somebody calls you, right? It's either somebody calls you or you call somebody if you're doing cold calling or, some of the other channels. First, contact. Second, rapport building. Rapport building. That's where you're going to spend 80% of your time. Third, negotiation. Fourth, the close. You see, contact, rapport, negotiation, the back and forth. Yeah, I'll give you this. No, I want this. Negotiation. Fourth is the close, right? A lot of people, they can't close it. They can't get them to sign. They build all this rapport, and they've spent so much time, babying this, and massaging this deal. And when it comes down to, all right, Mr. Seller, let's get you to sign right there, they just don't close. So that's why it's a very important phase of these 4 phases of closing a deal, of every single transaction. You will always have those phases, those 4 phases in every single real estate transaction, at least the way we do real estate, as far as off-market discounted property acquisitions.
I mean, rapport, it's such a funny thing because people just brush it off as just like, oh, the car salesman type thing.
80%, 80%, Zach, 80%. That's what a lot of folks don't understand. Here, I'll give you another metric, okay? Because I'm all about KPIs and numbers and metrics, right? I like hard data. I don't like opinions. I don't like somebody's expertise. I like numbers, right? If you spend minimum 12 to 20 minutes on a conversation with the seller, there is a very high probability that you are going to convert that into a deal. 12 to 20 minutes. You know how there's statistics out there that a lot of sales are done between the 8th and 12th phone call touches, right? Some people call it touches. I'm telling you this, thank God, not only myself, not only did I get to this level, but a lot of our closers, a lot of our sharks got to this level where they can convert you on the first contact, on the first phone call. I teach folks this all the time. Like, if it takes them more than 3 touches, we're literally kind of giving each other a hard time. We're like, dude, are you serious? Right? You still haven't closed that? I don't know what else to say. Like, folks, you need to get out there. You need to be a people person. I hate to break this to you. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how good looking you are. I don't care how amazing your marketing is. I don't care how much money you spend on marketing. If you're not a people person, you are not going to thrive in the game of real estate, because real estate is and always will be a people business.
It can't be anything else.
People need to understand that.
Okay. So just on your acquisitions real quick, are you virtually doing these deals right now, or you still
99% of our deals are virtual? I don't know how many people were successfully doing virtual deals before us. I heard a couple names out there. I heard Chris Chico was one of, I don't know him personally. I've never met him. I've never spoken with him, but I hear great things about him. I heard he did some virtual wholesaling, back in the day, right? But what I can tell you, Zach, is nobody has done virtual wholesaling the way we've done. To the level, I'm talking 40, 50 deals, all on DocuSign in multiple different markets, without us even being in the property, without us ever visiting that state or that market. So no disrespect to some of the pioneers and legends out there, but nobody has ever done virtual wholesaling deals the way to the level that we were able to do it. And we've been virtually closing deals since 2016. All right. Our best market became Las Vegas, Nevada in 2016. We were in Phoenix and we had already locked up deals. Boom, Las Vegas. Las Vegas became our number 1 market for like the next 2 years. We were crushing Las Vegas before Las Vegas got hot. Now it's very saturated and there's a lot of competition. It wasn't even fair. We were crushing Las Vegas from 2016 to late 2018, to mid 2018. And brother, we've been in Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Inland Empire, LA County, Riverside County. We've been in what's that other little town? Bakersfield. We've done a few deals in Bakersfield. Those were great. It's kind of a farming market. Obviously Phoenix, all over Maricopa County, et cetera. We've been in Tucson virtually. Obviously Las Vegas, Henderson. Let's go to the other side of the country. Let's go to Nashville. Let's go to North and South Carolina. We've done a few deals in Jersey. We've done a few deals in Florida. We've done a few deals in Columbus. Where else? Where else did we stick our necks into, right? So we've been everywhere. So we've been everywhere. And the reason why COVID hasn't really affected us the way that it's affected many, we've been doing virtual wholesaling for years. this is right up our alley. We fit right in. We literally fit right in.
Wow. So what makes you different than the average virtual guy? Because the average virtual guy, in their minds, they call, they get under contract, they bring a cash buyer, and that's basically bang, 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 bang. Like, what makes your company different, virtually wise?
Let me take a deep breath for that. Got to breathe. I'm high on coffee. I'm high on coffee right now. Best coffee in Phoenix, by the way. Lola's Coffee, downtown Phoenix. I'm not an affiliate. I don't get a referral plan. I'm just telling you it's the best coffee in the world. Okay. So, I feel what makes us the best virtual wholesalers in the country is that we've had to learn the hard way. When we first entered, and Sal's right here, he can listen to everything. He'll tell you if I'm full of crap or not, because we experienced this together. When we first entered our first virtual market, we were splitting 50% of the deal with people there.
Mm-hmm.
What makes us the best virtual wholesalers in the entire nation? Experience. We failed. We learned. We failed. We learned. We failed. We learned. We set up an amazing A to Z process to the point where it's very, how do I say it? It's streamlined now. It's totally streamlined, and you're no longer having to joint venture with people. You're no longer giving any percentage of your proceeds. It is so cheap to be in different markets, right? And I'll give you guys a couple of gems. And by the way, guys, if anybody, I want to say this, if anybody is ever interested in learning our entire formula and process, learn to wholesale.com. Learn to wholesale. And I'm not talking about you're going to pay $1,000 or $2,000.
It's a great domain.
No. Learn to wholesale.com. I'm talking about you're going to pay like $300 to learn this stuff, because again, we are businessmen first and we educate on the side. We're not educators and try to do a little business on the side. We are businessmen first and we educate on the side. So let me just say this, learn to wholesale.com. Listen, when we went to Las Vegas, Nevada, we paid 50% of our first 3 to 4 deals. We lost tens of thousands of dollars by joining venture with other wholesalers in that market because we didn't know better. You see, brother, I don't think you understand. You may see me and say, oh, look at those guys. They built an empire over there. We went through we've been through the shit. Like, we've been through the ringer. We spent so much money, lost so much money, ran into the wrong people. But you know what? Sal and I have always never jeopardized our principles, our core values, our integrity. We don't owe anybody nothing, and we've never taken or stole from anybody, and never lied or cheated or none of that. Sal and I, we are literally aligned, and that's why, how difficult it is to have a business partner in real estate.
Yep.
One gets greedy, one lies, one cheats, one steals, right? No, that's why Sal and I, we're tied to the hip, because we love each other. We love to see each other win. I don't count his money. He doesn't count mine. We're 50-50 partners. And, we have the same core values and principles. They align. Like, I'm never going to take $1 from him. It's already too late to start, So that's why. So let me just say this, guys. Let me throw a little gem out there for you guys. Don't join venture with anybody out there. Get with a real estate agent out there and either pay for the MLS fees and get MLS access. You will find somebody that will make you like an admin or an assistant on the MLS, and partner up with them. Say, hey, brother, I'll feed you some potential listings. I need your MLS, or I'll pay for your fees, and let's start working. Let's work together, right? That's how we first gained MLS in Las Vegas. And the other thing is, use boots on the ground. Use boots on the ground. 123 notary.com, wegolook.com. Get with a professional out there, like a real estate investor or a wholesaler that you trust, because it's very hard to have another wholesaler go out to somebody you trust and pay them $100 to just go take pictures, $200 to actually, if you ever need the contract signed because the person doesn't want to use DocuSign or whatever. So get out there, get out there, make some magic happen. Most importantly, though, the first thing we had to establish was our online presence, because if they can't touch you, they need to see you. They need to go up, they need to go into your website and look at reviews, like your Google reviews, and see if you're trustworthy, right? So start building an online presence. Hopefully that stuff helps.
So, yeah, I mean, what I really want to touch on right now is, I don't want to get in trouble from anyone here, but there's been a lot of people in the industry. Obviously, me and Rick, we actually help sell coaching. You have the all-in entrepreneurs, crazy great events, all that stuff. Shout out to you guys too. But there's some guys out there, I'm being honest, they sell coaching. They've taken a lot of money, thousands of dollars from you. They'll take you in the office, and a month later they're gone. Like, they're doing the next big thing.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting because you know what? Everybody that's watching this show knows that real estate is truly a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. This is something we love. We love what it's done for us. We love what it does for our families. We love what it's provided us to be out, the way that we've been able to serve thousands across the country, right? And for anybody that wants to find us, allinnation.com, brother, we've changed so many lives, through business and, obviously God's grace. We've changed so many lives, and you are absolutely correct, bro. So many people out there are frauds. They are frauds. They don't even have a business. They don't even have an office. They can't show HUDs, right? They can't show HUDs. And it's sad that it comes down to character. I always say this, like, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm like, guys, before you give somebody money, vet them, ask questions, go ask somebody that's actually dealt with them. Right? So I say that all the time because the last thing I want to do is innocent people get taken advantage of. Because you know what, Zach, you can really, just like we are trying to assist and help and support people accomplish their dreams, for all of those rotten, fraudulent pieces of craps out there, they are shattering people's dreams. Imagine that one old lady who's like, I want to be a real estate investor, and saves up $10,000 over the last 20 years, right? Gives it to somebody, or 20,000 or 50, whatever these people are charging, gives it to that person. That person just robs them. I don't know. And if that person doesn't rob them, gives them outdated information, stuff that used to work back in 2015 and 2012 and 2013, stuff that used to work last year, stuff that used to work in January of this year, doesn't work anymore. This market constantly changes. Sal and I say this all the time. One day in real estate is 1 week, and 1 week is 1 month, and 1 month is 1 year. That is how fast this industry changes, and you have to keep your eye on the ball every single day. Every single day, you got to keep your eye on the ball.
I check the market every day. I'm checking the pulse. There's just the real estate investor, the whole guru side. A young kid like me, I'm 20. I remember when I was 17, 18, I'd see a guy in a car, maybe you in a Rolls Royce or another guru with a nice car. It'll drag me in, and then I'm ready to pay you anything because I want your lifestyle. Kenny Rushing said this, pretty funny. He's cool, good dude.
I tagged him on something today.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that?
See it. I gotta
look
at it.
Oh my God. I tagged them today because Kenny's an OG. Kenny Rushing is an OG.
We buy crack houses.
You know what, brother? He's an OG. And if you're anybody in this game, you have to respect the pioneers, the legends, the Kenny Rushins and the Cody Spurbers and the Sean Terrys and all these guys that they've been in the game for 10 plus years, 12 plus years. Who are we to disrespect these people? A lot of these people paved the way. A lot of these people have changed lives,
Definitely. So he's the one instituting. He's like, you guys got to do the HUD challenge. And I definitely agree. I think I think people need to understand that, but I think something very important, because I have some younger guys watching this and they obviously follow you. Let's say I got $1,000. I just got I'm trying to get my first wholesale deal. Obviously, of all in entrepreneurs, you charge more than the $300 course for it. But I mean, how should a guy with just, $2,000-3,000 wants to get into it? Should they buy the whole shebang, or like, what should they do?
This is what I would do, because this is what me and Sal did.
Okay.
Sal and I knew nothing about real estate. Especially, again, when it comes to the single family residential sector, I don't know what else there is to know. We know pretty much, we've done it all, right? We've done developments. We've wholesaled a lot. We've done heavy flips. We've done cosmetic flips. We've done everything. We've done land deals. We've done everything, right? So I was the contractor at one point for our own flips. You know what I mean? Like, I got, I speak Spanish, so I got the carpet guy, I got the paint guy, I got the granite guy there. I got everybody there, right? So I can tell you this much. And it's forget the course, because you know what? When Sal and I got into this business, we bought a book, a $10 or $14 book. It's called Flip by Nick Ruiz. Flip by Nick Ruiz. Now, is it outdated? Possibly. Yeah. I mean, but Nick Ruiz, I love Nick Ruiz. So you mentioned a lot of names. You know what's crazy is I've become really good friends with all the folks that you mentioned, the Kenny Russians, the Nick Reeses, and the Sean Terrys, right? Like, Nick texted me and Sal this morning, and that's somebody that I came up, right? I came up under him, right? I came up looking at his content, and look at this, 8:52 in the morning, Nick Reese, right? So he's like, who would have ever thought, right? When I'm this guy stuck in, a 9-to-5 job, and, I'm looking up to this guy, and whatever. Well, let me just say this. You got $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. That is plenty for you to get your first deal. Now, if you can't afford learntowholesale.com, which is obviously our course, and the reason, in my opinion, brother, I'll say this, it is by far the best, most updated course in the country. I poured a lot into it. Sal poured a lot into it. Alex poured. Brother, we're talking about A to Z. When I say A to Z, I'm showing you how to pull raw data, right? I'm showing you niche lists to go after. I mean, we're not missing a beat. From raw data to skip tracing, how you should skip, where you should skip, to how you should market every single marketing channel, right? So acquisitions, dispositions, everything you can think of, it's there. But if you don't have the few $100 to get learntowholesale.com, get Flip by Nick Reese. It's $14. Now, get educated as much as you can. I'm not telling you to have analysis paralysis. I'm not telling you to overload yourself on information. All right. I'm telling you to do what Nick Reese once told me to do. Make rough draft moves. You don't have to know it all. You got YouTube University, right? You got YouTube University. You got our courses. You got books that are like $14, $15. You got $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. This is what I would do. I would grab a niche list. Okay, I would probably, given the circumstances right now, people are not really, they don't really want to move out of their quarantine cave. So I would probably go after absentee 30% or more equity, right? I would grab a niche list. I would skip trace this list with needtoskip.com. I would cold call these people myself, me. So I don't have to pay for cold callers and virtual assistants. I would cold call myself. Right. And you're going to learn so much from cold. I've cold called. I've done it all. I've done bandit signs. I've cold called. I've been in every position. So has Sal. So I would do that. Right. Niche list from listsource.com, 30% or more equity absentee. I would sprinkle on the pre-foreclosures and tax defaults. I would cold call. I would skip trace needtoskip.com. I would cold call myself. I would probably grab, I wouldn't get Mojo. I think Mojo sucks. I used to use Mojo back in 2016. People like Mojo because of the simplicity, but the fact of the matter is, it is extremely outdated. It is like it is like the Pinto of any dialer out there now. My number one go-to right now is ZenCall. I would choose ZenCall over Call Tools, and you can get a heavy discount if you go to allindialer.com. You'll get what Mojo charges you $140 for, just because we have so many agents on that dialer that you get it for $90 just like us. So allindialer.com, buy ZenCall. We don't own it. They do. But I'm giving everybody it's kind of like a coupon code. Allindialer.com. Go in there, you'll see ZenCall. This is what I would do. I would call 6 to 8 hours a day. I would make 800 to 1,200 dials per day. And I would try to generate 2 to 4 leads per day. After I get to between the 70th and the 100th lead, more than likely, I'm going to be able to get a contract. Okay. And once I do that, right, once I get this thing under contract, and right now, try to grab these properties 40 to on the safe side, 40 to 60 cents on the dollar. All right. 40 to 6. For those of you that don't know what that means, 40 to 60 cents off the after repair value, whatever the comparable value is given to you. Example, if a property is, $200,000, you can, here, let's do the math, 200, right? What's 40 to 60 cents on that?
I mean, on 200,
yeah,
80.
What is it?
80.
80 and
40% is 200.
And 40% is 80. And then what's the 60 cents on that? Because this
120, 120, I think.
So if you can pick this up between that, that threshold, that range, you're going to be fine. And I would also not go after anything that needs heavy rehab, because a lot of folks right now are kind of playing the sidelines, and the investors that are in the game want to go after that just requires in and out, paint and carpet back in the market. So that is what I would do if I had 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And I know for a fact that I would get at least one deal. And if I get one deal, guess what? I just got my return on investment, probably 10x, 12x, 14x.
Definitely. I mean, what do you say? Because a lot of these guys are leaving real estate, blah, blah, blah. I mean, would you say your real passion business-wise out of all the businesses is real estate?
Real estate.
Yeah.
Real estate. It is, and it always will be, in my opinion. I love the medical company we have. I love it, but again, I love the potential. I love the growth in real estate. I mean, God, man, we haven't even started flipping commercial properties. We're babies. There's so much to go, right? We haven't even plateaued. Like, I don't think there's a better business out there than real estate. And if you think about it, right, you think of all the most successful entrepreneurs out there, somehow, some way, 80 to 90% of them were built through real estate. And that is a true fact. So real estate, it's the only thing that this country and the rest of the world isn't making anymore is what? Land.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. So, I want to get some questions up here for the people though, but just why I'm pulling this up, can you explain this funny thing, the closer Olympics? Closer, can you explain that? I saw that. I'm like, that? So, I saw your name on there.
I'm just a judge. It's not my event. Max Maxwell, myself, Brent Daniels, we're just judges. There's 12 of the best closers around the country. It's like a tournament style. So it's literally it's kind of like March Madness. You see, like,
why are you in there? Why are you the judge? You should be in there.
You know what, brother? Because first and foremost, I'm not even in the trenches anymore. Like the last time that I spoke to a seller, I can't even remember, right? I can't. Why? Because I have a sales director that oversees the acquisition managers. Again, you have to understand. I think people in real estate forget that the goal is to be a CEO, to build an organization, to build a company. Do you really want to be chasing deals the rest of your life? I don't want to be 60 years old going on appointments. I'm sorry. I just don't want to be, right? That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to put in the hard work early, my 12, 16, whatever hours every single day for the first 2 years. And I wanted to start building a team. Once I started building a team, I was able to let go of the vine slowly. At first, my first successful acquisition hire was Adrian Salgado, who is our sales director now. I started letting go of the vine. He started training right under me, started shadowing my phone calls. We started going on appointments together when it was locally in Phoenix. We even went to some, Vegas appointments when it was worth it, and we capitalized. This was back in 2016. So that's why if I'm not on the trenches, I feel like it's unfair for me to partake in against other people that are in the trenches every single day. Now I have my sales director in that tournament, right? And it's going to be a head-to-head. The winner gets $25,000.
Ooh.
Yeah. And a lot of the other money is going towards COVID-19 families. So it's a tournament. It's a tournament, and you're not even calling your own leads. You're calling other people's leads. And I feel like a lot of people are going to get served because there's going to be so many different acquisition styles. So, everybody has their own style, and people are going to get served, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't want to take, I know you got a big Instagram live going at 8. So I'm not trying to take all your time here, but you're definitely a great giver here. And so this question I have here is, you're going to breathe hard on this one, but I'm sorry, but you teach a lot of people, you help a lot of people here. What was the one story from one of your students that really humbled you the most and really gave you just a sense of gratitude?
I have a mentee right now who's 20 years old. His name is Leo. On Instagram, he's Lion of Influence. He freaking moved from California to Arizona just for me to mentor him. Okay. He moved last week for me to mentor him. And this guy was homeless less than a year ago. He was homeless. His mom was on drugs. And then he started living in his car, showering at the gym, living in his car, showering at the gym, living in his car, doing real estate deals, wholesale in California, was able to build a team. I actually have, if you look back into my Instagram, he's literally shaking my hand. First time I ever met him. He says, "Hey, brother, because of you, I started doing real estate because of you. And this is my story," and we just start talking about it. And I got very emotional because when you can take somebody from being homeless as a 17-year-old kid or 18-year-old person to being a successful real estate entrepreneur that's no longer sleeping in his car, and he's no longer homeless, and he gets up and moves. He loves you and trusts you and believes in you so much. He gets up and moved from California to Scottsdale. And then he's part of my mentorship, my one-on-one mentorship, not even the group, all in executive elite boardroom. That's a group mentorship. He's like, "No, I want one-on-one. I want you as a 20-year-old to teach me everything you know about not only business, but life, because I'm going to be a world changer." I said, wow, 20 years old. And that's just one story. There's so many, brother. I've called people in Alabama, real estate, Keith Everett. I mentored Keith Everett, real estate Diddy.
Oh, wow.
Brother, imagine calling Keith Everett on FaceTime and his whole family's in the background saying hello to you by first name.
Wow.
That means the absolute most to me and my team. When we can change lives like that, that means the most. So that is the gift that keeps on giving. That is the one thing that will never change. And that is why we do what we do. Now, a lot of people say this, "Oh, you guys charge, everybody charges education." Well, hey, guess what? When people pay, they pay attention. Second thing, okay, when people pay, they pay attention. Second thing, what is the most valuable commodity that we have as entrepreneurs? Time. I don't want people wasting our time. How many people are willing to, everybody loves free. Everybody loves free. But when you get things for free, you don't put any skin in the game. It doesn't hold as much weight.
No.
Right. And that's why a lot of folks are like, oh God, you guys charge. Who the hell doesn't charge? If they're gonna, like, brother, you want free? Go to my YouTube, go to my podcast, go to my Instagram. There's plenty there for you to become a successful person, right? You want to take time away from me, my family, myself, my businesses. Okay, let's put some skin in the game. You understand?
You get what you pay for.
Absolutely.
I had a guy DM me. He said, I paid $1,000 for one-on-one coaching for like a year. First of all, if a coach who's very successful, it does one-on-one with you for one-on-one for an entire year, I'm like, he's like, he just bailed on me, and I found out he did no deals. I'm like, you get what you pay for. One-on-one of a successful real estate investor's year every single week.
No.
Pay $1,000.
No way. No way.
You get what you pay for.
Do what I do. If I'm going to get mentored, because I have 2 mentors right now, and I've only ever had, I have a spiritual mentor and I have a business mentor, and I had a self-mastery mentor that I'm going to, God willing, bring him back into my life because I grew so much when I was under him. He lives up in Sedona. Shout out to Jeremy Wilson. Great guy. I pay thousands a month for each mentor, thousands. And they changed my life. The value overexceeds the price.
Mm-hmm.
Overexceeds the price. Someone's charging $1,000. They definitely are not the cream of the crop. As a up and coming entrepreneur, what you want to do, my brother, is skip all these steps. Skip all these guys that are like, yeah, I'll charge you this and I'll charge. Go straight to the top and say, let's do this. Cause I don't have time to waste. Let's go straight to the top. I don't have time to waste. I want to be successful, and I want to be successful right now, this year, not next year, not 5 years from now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, it makes 100% sense. So, I want to do a rapid fire, some things, because I know some people need to understand this. So the reason why I wanted to have you also on the podcast, first, because I said you're going to be here when I had 2 subscribers and everyone laughed me out. But that's something else for something. But, this COVID-19 is going crazy. It's affecting a lot of people's businesses, and you're one of the few people doing deals, doing well during this.
I haven't missed a day. I'm in my office. We have not missed one day. Watch this.
Oh, let's go.
Everybody, look at it. We got a bunch of people here. Right? So we haven't missed one day. And you know what? You know what was beautiful today, brother? You want to know what my 2 best moments of my day today was?
What?
One, my landscaper, Felipe, he did. I mean, this guy does it all by himself, right? And I have an acre, out west. I have a full acre and it has a lot of grass. So it takes him like 4 hours. He says, hey, I want to thank you. I said, why? What's going on? I said, for the payment I just sent you? He's like, no. I want to thank you for not taking away from my family during this time. And then the other thing he says, and I also want to thank you because Jaden has me busy. Jaden, our asset manager who handles all our flips, all the projects, all our project managers, all the landscapers, he says, I'm going to go take a look at 5 projects for you guys right now. He's like, you're literally keeping food on the table. Imagine if your day starts like that, right? That's the first thing. Second thing, I took one of my sharks, one of my guys, Randy Hernandez. I took him, and you can tell my guys, I don't know if he still has the keys. I took him in the Rolls Royce Wraith. I said, brother, let's go to coffee. You drive.
Oh my God.
You drive. I said, because this is the car that I want you to drive. He's like, this is my dream car. I said, that's right. You're going to drive it, and you are going to vision and manifest this, because this is where you're headed. I want my whole team to win. And he drove us to the coffee shop and drove us back. Look, I just got the key back, right? He drove us to the coffee shop, drove us back, and it made his day. And guess what? It made my day. So I just want to tell people out there that when you serve others and you give value to others and you help change other people's lives, God, the universe, who God is the creator and the creator of the universe, there's a energy that just comes back and just repays you over and over and over when you're serving others. So I want people out there, they should also read a book called The Go-Giver. The Go-Giver.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful book. It talks about serving others and how people are compensated, unintentionally compensated by serving others. So yeah,
Definitely.
I mean,
So what I'm trying to get out here is I want to virtually, I guess, put my finger, a pulse on your business. What have you changed in the past 2 months that has helped you thrive during this time that most people aren't?
okay. Well, but we did very early. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We pivoted immediately. So in November, we didn't even know, nobody knew this was coming, by the way. So this was definitely a gift from God. In November, we reduced our marketing expenses by 40%. Okay. Now we haven't let go of one person.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't let go of one person. You know, a lot of people are laying people off, etc. We haven't. In November, we reduced our marketing expenses by 40%. So come December, January, February, we were already steaming. I mean, we were rocking, we were rolling. And in March, you know, by March came around, mid-March, you know, the president, boom, the president says, you know, hey, March 16th or something. He's like, hey, you know, this is what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. The first week I had gone with my private capital partners and I said, hey guys, how do you guys feel about what's going on? These guys have been through 4 recessions. They're like, don't worry about it. This is a slingshot effect. Let's keep rocking and rolling. I said, great, let's go. Right. I got private capital behind me. Let's do it. That was one thing. I reached out to my private capital partners, reached out to a lot of our network. Hey, are you still actively buying? Are you still actively buying? Are you still actively buying? Yeah. Everything. Boom. The other thing that we did, so we reduced our marketing expenses, reached out to cash buyers immediately. Half of our staff is working from home, hubstaff.com. We're monitoring them through Hubstaff.
Okay.
Half of our staff is here right now. I haven't missed a day. We pivoted. We adjusted and adapted. My brother, thank you. I won't call you. I'm almost done. Shout out to my boy, Jesse Burrell. So we did that. And we started to say, hey guys, we are picking up properties 40 to 60 cents on the dollar. We're no longer picking up at 70, 75%, selling at 80, 83%. We got to buy lower. And those are just some of the things that we did. And brother, like we've been thriving through this time, you know, praise the Lord.
Wow. Shout out real quick, Jesse Burrell. He's got a great company. Batch Leads, great service. But okay, so last question here. I ask the same question every single person I do, and I'm ready for this one. So you've sort of answered this, but I started 17, no money, bag boy. If you were 17 again in Phoenix, Arizona, with $200 in your bank account, what would you do to become the next Carlos Reyes?
The one thing that people are going to have to understand is that you're going to have to work your ass off to become one of that 1%. There's no going around that. You are going to have a crazy, you got to have a crazy work ethic. There's no going around that. So if you're 17, 18, 19, 20, you have to understand you're going to have to work your ass off, but you are in a much better position to work your ass off. I'm thinking you have no kids. I'm thinking you're not married. I'm thinking that you're still supported and backed by your parents in some way, shape, or form, right? Unless you're Leo, who was homeless. Work your ass off. Commit. Make a decision. Make a life, like literally a life commitment, and say, I am going to be successful. And there is nothing that's going to stop me from it. There's nothing that's going to stop me from doing that. So I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to commit. I'm going to work my ass off, right? And I'm going to overcome all adversity, everything that comes in my way. I don't care if the world throws the kitchen sink at me. I am going to persevere. And I'm never, ever, ever going to quit. That is what I would tell any 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old out there right now.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with that. I really appreciate you coming on today. You know, we had Sal, he came on, that's going to release soon. I'm working to get Alex on here. You know, I'm trying to get the trifecta going here, the all-in guys. You know, I'm so happy you came in to celebrate 1,000 subscribers for us. You know, it just, what you give gets expressed out more. I just really appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. What a blessing. Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, it's not nothing compared to
Congratulations.
you guys are getting,
Doesn't
but
matter.
you know, we're just
Congratulations,
pulling it
brother.
up.
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep serving. People are being served, brother. I didn't have access to this kind of information when I was 17 years old. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So keep doing what you're doing. I didn't have access to this kind of information. You know, I didn't read my first successful, my favorite book of all time, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I didn't read that till I was about 25, 26. So.
Mhm. So just before we stop this right here, end this stream, because I know you're a busy man, what are your parting thoughts to someone looking at this right now saying, I see Carlos, I'm pumped, I want to do something? That excitement's going to wear off. It's just going to. What do you have to say to this guy or gal that wants to get going and just really do it? Like
If you
they
are
tell
serious, if you are serious, because you know that I always answer my DMs on Instagram. If you are serious, right? My Instagram handle is at Carlos Reyes, literally at Carlos Reyes. If you are serious, send me a direct message, and I promise, out of respect for this show, I will message you back. I will voice memo you back, and I will put you on the right track. Okay. And if you are serious, you need to understand that there's a major difference between motivational. I may have motivated you right now and burned a fire under your ass. There's a difference between motivation and commitment. Only reach out to me if you are truly committed to becoming successful. Okay? And I promise you, I will put you on the right path.
You didn't light a fire.
Does that sound fair?
It's very fair. Carlos Reyes, he's a little, you might get intimidated. You see his Instagram, like this guy, he's not accessible. He's blah, blah, blah.
I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. Remember, I was just telling you, like, I hate that. I am you. Like, I am everybody. Like, I'm never going to change that about myself, bro. Like, God willing, that never changes in my life. I told the Lord, Lord, if I ever lose my humility and I become this arrogant POS, take everything from me. I don't want it. I don't want it. My core values and principles mean more to me than any monetary significance out there. So
I can't express this to end this right now. The title of this live stream right now is Humble and Hungry. Carlos Reyes shares how he came from bags to riches. I think there's just not a better way to explain.
Well, we're both
right
we're both ex-bag boys.
It's true.
Now, did you double bag the heavy stuff? Because I did.
I had to. Paper,
okay,
plastic,
see,
man.
you know what I'm talking about. Okay, all right.
Trust me, in 3 years,
did you separate the bread from the heavy stuff? Did you separate the eggs? Did you put the eggs on it by itself? Maybe put a loaf of bread on top of the eggs. You see, you got to know all these things when you're bagging groceries. Yeah, exactly.
You do. People have told me, like, bag boy, I don't know if you've experienced, they say, I'll never amount to anything. You're terrible at your job. Like, people are real mad at me because I bagged it wrong. But that's
Ouch.
it. I mean, would you agree that you are humble and hungry and you're just...
Praise the Lord, brother. Yes, I am. I will always be, God willing. Yes.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Carlos Reyes on Instagram. He's got a great YouTube channel. Check him out. It's official Carlos Reyes, I believe, on there.
Yeah. If you just go to at Carlos Reyes on Instagram, you'll find everything else.
Perfect. And there's a million names of Carlos Reyes everywhere. I'm telling you right now, he's blowing up like crazy. He's going to be the Carlos Reyes, but I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you guys need anything, DM me, DM him. And again, thank you and God bless.
Thank you, brother. God bless you.
All right. Let's end this stream.